take us away. When the starter's order given, it's going to be explosive.
Yeah, it is indeed. You can see the guys all getting ready. It's Davy Todd near us. You can see some big... And here they go. And they're off. So first leg across the bike. Who's going to be away first? No, it looks like number 38. And it's always a bit tight as they come across there. So great start there by... that looked like James Hillier.
Yeah, James Hillier. And I joked about people from about ninth. And the pole starting bikers have got a problem because Davy Todd is reaching down. Now I think he's got it hooked up. Missed a gear and fallen to about 6th place.
Yeah, so it's... good way we can see, right, so now most people away cleanly, which is good. That's Josh Brookes there on the Vincent. It's a big 1000cc V-twin. You just saw him power past the Nortons there.
Now we've got different coloured rondels on the bikes. Is that according to engine capacity? Oh, we've got a problem there. Number 26 going off, and that's a Norton International Stephen Paul's bike. That had a problem yesterday, didn't even set applying that. But our race leader, about a 2.5 seconds clear going to St Mary's. Yeah,
well, it's very, very early days, let me say. 25-minute race, you've got to do a swap of the riders. The main thing on that first lap is coming away clean. Oh, someone's smoking badly in the background there. So that was McWilliams. That is McWilliams, one of the favourites.
Yeah, sharing with Duncan Fitchett, and that was one of those, which is the pro ride. And oh dear, maybe there's oil going down. And save it. One of the BMWs, I think they're number 98. That's the this is the 1928 bike, the compressor, Klaus Clausen's bike.
Yeah, well, so you can see now, there's Davy Todd, there's your pole man, number 11 sort of coming through. Now, as we look, he's got it going again, mind that grass, I tell you, it's really slippy, you've got to be careful as you rejoin not to spit it out. So he does, he gets that 1928 BMW back on track, but Brookes now is right on the back, and you can see that, he's really pushing.
Well, Josh Brookes clawed back about 2 seconds and then opening that, crossing the start-finish line. He's just 0.2 seconds down, the Jackson Hillier bike, number 38, leading the way. The Matchless for now at the front, and some of the others delayed. And again, Davy Todd trying to pick up the pace, but he's fallen down to 7th place overall.
Yeah, and there was Michael Rutter's already up to 9th as well, so keep an eye on Michael Rutter. And I tell you, someone else who's done a brilliant start from row 7, and that's Billy McConnell, the ex-champion. He's up to 4th. So Billy doing a brilliant job there.
It's so hard to pick them up on the opening lap because particularly that run to the first corner to Madgwick, but now we can see the first 3 starting to get away, but importantly the first 3 starting to close up because the bike that started the outside the front row, Royal Enfield, the Mendes bike, number 83, just trying to get onto the coattails of the front trio make it. In fact, bike number 20 is closing in. You just mentioned McConnell, and he's definitely making that really sing, that Velocette closing in on the pack, but packs everywhere around the circuit.
Yeah, you can see he's having a good look there, but that Matchless is running beautiful. Oh, we got a faller there. That's the Norton International of Jenny Tinmouth. So Jenny Tinmouth, you can see let's have a little look in the background. What's going on? Oh, I see something is actually a problem with the bike. You see something flips off in the background. It looks like maybe even the rear fender, you see the smoke's coming out. Oh. So,
well, that's what happens when you go on soggy grass. But anyhow, Timmer's bike had a problem yesterday, started at the back of the grid, further problems today. Hopefully they can get it fixed and it can at least get a full race on Sunday. But our first 3 coming across the line, probably covered by just under a second. It's still Jackson Hillier bike in front, and Mendes has moved up into 2nd place in the Royal Enfield. Yeah, top 3 covered by, just a whisker over a second.
Yeah, it was a lovely lap for Mendes, fast lap of the race at 1:34.7. So just even nearly a second quicker than the guys in front. Mendes, he's getting out-tracked there by the Vincent of Josh Brookes. Just that extra capacity. So it's just really sort of driving a bit there, but really good. 3 different manufacturers dicing out here at the moment at the front.
Wave yellow flags clearly as Jenny Tinmouth's bike is being removed from the side of the circuit, and that's on the drop from Fordwater as you go towards St Mary's. Definitely needs to be moved, so great work by the marshals as always.
Yeah, getting that cleared out the way. But back at the front, look at this. I mean, Hillier, they knew that it's a good pairing, that Hillier and Jackson pairing. That Matchless really flying, beautifully prepared. Doesn't quite have the top end of the Vincent of Josh Brookes. Just missing out a little bit on that CC, but it's certainly flying. It looks like it's handling well, but Brookes might just have the inside line here coming down, and I think he will do. I think we're going to see him make this move as he comes down to Woodcote.
Never say die, so first has become second and second has become first, but still fighting back. So that brilliant start from the middle of the third row for bike number 38, the matchless. Not out of the picture yet, that's for sure. Coming into chicane, just what, a whisker off the tail of Brookes, who's now in the lead of the race. The Vincent Black Lightning, will it get away? Riders hunkered down as low as they possibly could, but more punch out of the... Oh, where's the rider in third place? Dropped back a tiny bit.
Yeah, he did, and I mean, speaking to him earlier, I saw him at breakfast, he said it's such a lovely thing to ride. So he's really enjoying riding it, smooth. He said the jetting on it is really nice, and he's able in places sort of to ride around. The Vincent's not quite as nimble, doesn't handle quite as well, but just with that extra capacity, that big 998cc 50-degree V-twin, you know, it's got about, I think it could do about 125 miles an hour. Probably got another 10% more power than the matches in front. And you know, that Royal Enfield Meteor of Fernando Mendes is not going anywhere either in third.
But knowing that he's got a bit more grunt out of the corners, he's got to choose his moments. But most of the circuit here at Goodwood, it's about getting the flow, and that wonderful run going into Lavant. The corner should be covered off by, yeah, beautiful run there from the bike 38, the Jackson Hillier matchless, but coming out of the chicane is what it's all about for the bike in second place, but with the extra horsepower from his 1000cc.
Yeah, here it comes, he looks the other way. Oh no, it's Robert Dunlop. Robert Dunlop, that's unfortunate. Robert Dunlop obviously absolutely flying, but he's had a problem there on his 1953 Norton Manx, so he is out. And look at that, is that Michael Rutter as well? It looks like Rutter might have moved up to fourth behind these guys, right from the back row. Fernando Mendes is going forward. Hillier there.
Well, that's a more than average return if he gets up to fourth place. The Russell Rutter bike started in 27.
Yeah, he's got a great start. So it is, it's, wow, it's Vincent, v Royal Enfield. And here he is, yes, he has. Look at that, Michael Rutter has just got past Steve Brogan there, number 12. So Rutter, remember, he was on row 11 in 27th position. Let's have a look at his lap times, 1:33.9. So, you know, he laps 0.6 of a second quicker than your leaders on that last lap. So Rutter, what is his gap right now is 4.1 seconds behind the leaders themselves. So let's see what he can do about that. He's got some clear track in front of him, just starting to drop Rogie. Back at the front, it is Josh Brookes though. Fernando Mendes in second and James Hillier third. Then we got Michael Rutter, then we got Steve Brogan.
Yeah, now one of the points we talked before the start of the race, this is a pro-am race, but Russell and Rutter are both effectively pros, so there's going to be not much drop-off in performance at all when the second rider gets on. So they can choose their moment, they can come in mid-race rather than waiting towards the end of the pit window to make their rider change.
They can indeed, and what we're seeing ahead there is already they're about to come up amongst some of the back markers, so they're going through the traffic already. So lap 4, there's Jenny Tinmouth and Michael Dunlop having a little chat. Luckily, smiles on both faces, so they're all okay.
Well, you can only do what you can do if your bike suddenly goes auto combat, but this lead trio just having such a good crack. Their bikes performing in different ways at different points, but the Vincent Black Shadow leading the way, the extra grunt, but again, 3 different manufacturers. Just great to have the 3 different ways they have to navigate the circuit at Goodwood. Through the chicane one more time. Again, the top 3 covered by just under a second. Great race.
Yeah, it's a real great race, this. You see, it's all so important to get tucked in, because one of the things about these sort of machines is, because they haven't got the power, you've got to run your corner speed. Look at that, Rutter, by the way. Rutter's taken a big chunk off. He's taken 1.4 seconds out the leader. 1:33.7 for Michael Rutter in fourth, 1:35.2 for the leaders.
Okay, I was saying that the Russell Rutter bike can pick when it wants. Rider on board at the moment wants to get with that pack. He's, you know, as a matter of pride, you've got to catch it, you've got to pass it. But that's been a fantastic charge from 27.
Absolutely. And right now, when he's in the groove, you know, there's just keep doing what you're doing. He'll want to come in as late as he can, because you know, the pit window is just opened actually, so they can now sort of come in this next period. But it's going to be interesting. A lot of these guys will leave it as late as they can before they swap. As we say, Michael Rutter, he's going to want to just go while he's in this groove. So, you know, it does come from 16 minutes to 8 minutes. They have to change within that window.
Now, one thing you just talked about, James, was they'd started to pick off some of the back markers. That actually affected Michael Russell on this lap, because the first 3 riders got cleared the traffic in the first part of the lap, and they're pulling away a little bit, but in the background the 68 is now regaining. But the first 3 has suddenly become 1 and then a pair, because certainly Josh Brookes has put a little bit of daylight between himself and the rest. He's actually set the fastest first sector of anyone, the fastest second sector. Maybe having got clear of the back, he was able to use the horsepower that he has with the Vincent where he wanted to.
Oh, look at Rutter as well, using all the track as he gets going, trying to get it. So look at that, a 1:31.7 for Josh Brookes. So that is really, really quick. So he is absolutely just pushed that lead back up again. He's suddenly, as you say, he went through the back markers, got some clear track, and he's really laying that down. So that's a stunning lap. We look sort of slightly further back, and that is the 1937 BMW. That's Howie Mainwaring Smart, the ex-Superbike racer on that, and he's having a good ding-dong with Steve Plater, number 40. So those guys, you know, having a good play together.
It's ever since the first of the races for the Barry Sheene bike races here, it's just been the way the bike riders interact, the racers, a little bit of fun. Is he saying, I'm with you, or does your bum look big, or just simply get out of the way?
He's having a good little ding. That is the battle for a 10th and 11th. Those guys are cracking on. But as you say, Josh Brookes has put that great lap in at the start. It's still really tight for second and third, and Rutter was chipping in on those guys. That is your second place man, Fernando. Sorry, that's James Hillier. So James Hillier, they're coming through. So Josh Brookes, that's your leader, number 55. Then we got a couple of back markers. Number 38 is James Hillier. So he's now sort of just coming round, pushing through. And actually, I think he's actually gained a fraction maybe on this lap as they come through the back markers, because he looks significantly closer. So he's going to get held up a little bit here. He's going to try and square him off. Get the drive coming out as he goes past the Manx, and that is actually Carlos Checa. Number 7 there is Carlos Checa. He's just signalled to put his foot out, so he'll be coming on the next lap.
Yeah, go on my right as well. But what, you know, traffic giveth and it taketh away, and certainly that was Everflow. Quarter of a second gain, a quarter of a second loss. But for Josh Brookes, pulling clear 1.7 seconds. The last 2 laps have been very good for him. He's got the clear air. It also means when he comes in, he can choose the time he's coming into pit, but he will pit as late as he can within this pit window, because clearly he is the pro in the pairing, and when he hands over, it will be probably as late as he can. Ben Kingham will be taking over in that race leading bike, but who knows where he can be come the checkered flag.
Yeah, again, a good pit swap is really important, a nice clean swap, and a lot of the guys will have sort of practiced that even in the pits, you know, keeping it in gear, making sure you're in first, gear in, so you get over, so you can hand the bike over and they can just get on and get away. So that is one of our first swaps. That's Steve Plater. He's coming in, and Steve Plater, he's just having a swap with Glenn English. Glenn English is a really good classic rider. Yeah,
and a lot of success here over the years. So again, one of the stronger rider pairings. Didn't start totally near the front of the grid, but they're doing what they needed to do. In fact, started down in 11th position on the grid, but we know, well, standing high in the saddle there. What was going on there?
Yeah, well, that is Sylvain Barrier. He was the ex-world Superstock champion as well. So the Frenchman, lovely to see him come to Goodwood. And then having a little look behind him, we've then got number 22, and that is the Gilera. So that's lovely to see that. And that's Storm Stacey. Remember, Storm Stacey had his first British Superbike win this season. So again, another very welcome addition. You can see the guys coming into the pits. There's Michael Rutter. So Rutter's coming in. James Hillier's coming in. So this is going to be a really important swap. On they get. Oh, Jackson. So Dan Jackson goes on. So now we're going to have a little look. So I think the question was, did we see, I think Brookes is still circulating. Now there's Davey Todd. So Davey Todd has been down in 6th, but obviously this really does sort of muddle it all up. Right, there is Michael Russell. So that's Michael Russell's teammate. He is now out on the motorcycle. So it's just going to take a lap or two. They've only got, remember, the window closes with 8 minutes to go. So they have to get in. They have to swap by then.
Certainly does, and many a fumble when people can't do their maths, counting backwards, me included. But so half the field, one would feel, has made a rider change so far. Well, actually just under that, but right out front has been a fantastic run from Josh Brookes. He'll be handing over to Ben Kingham very soon indeed in the fabulous Vincent at the front of the field. For the riders waiting their turn, it's where you jump around on the balls of your feet, isn't it? Nervous tension. Sam Mendes in the middle of the batch there, waiting to take over. And certainly their Royal Enfield has gone very, very well indeed, and Adam McLean should be bringing that in probably this time around.
Yeah, you can see the guys that just trying. It can be really confusing coming in as well. You've got to make sure you know exactly where you're going, because everyone's coming in the same spot. It's condensed, it's tight. As we see Doc Bush there jumping on his Norton Manx. He's been handed over from Dave Johnson, so away he goes. And here's Josh Brookes as well. So there's your leader. This is going to be interesting to see. So number 55, Josh Brookes. He's going to be handing over to Kingham. Let's have a little look. Not bad.
Not bad. Keep blipping the throttle constantly, just keeping it alive.
And Mendes right behind him as well. So
well, that's been a gain, because remember, before the pit stop, the rider change, it was nearly 2 seconds.
And here comes
the Vincent was leading by.
Yes, that's right. You can see Rutter. They're all in the groove right behind. Remember, it's that first bit when you come out, it's always a bit awkward. And you can see Rutter. He's coming through there, number 68. So, sorry, not Rutter, Russell. Michael Russell. Yeah, he's obviously swapped over now. So this is the hunt. This is the battle for the lead, and it's on track. And it's all to go for. And Hillier is Jackson's there as well now. So it is the second riders, and they've all ended up. Doesn't always work like this, but they've all ended up in the hunt.
Yeah, the child top bike is right. So effectively, anyone got a blanket? We've got 6 bikes to cover with one here, there, all together. Fantastic, just exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and you mentioned Chad there. He's done a brilliant job. Adrian Child, he's doing a good. And look at that. So that is Russell is now in the lead. So they have come
from fourth before the rider changes to first. And take a look. I mean, he was a lap earlier onto the bike and just in the groove that little bit more. You talked about the first few corners when you've taken over a bike, you're getting up to speed. But maybe that earlier pit stop worked for them. Can this be 27th? Yes, 27th to the lead of the race. Yes, it is so far. Will it be to the checkered flag? Well, let's find out. 9 minutes remain.
Yeah, so there it is, Michael Russell doing a lovely, lovely job on that Norton Velocette. So it's a Norton featherbed chassis with a Velocette engine. It's bored out. The engine itself was a 500. It's bored out to a 640cc. They had a clutch problem. Didn't set a time yesterday in qualifying, so started from the back. But they've come through, and they are now unbelievably in the lead of the race, which is superb.
The pit window is now closed. The last of the bikes who got in just before pulling out of onto the track again, but all the front runners have made their change. Oh, dearie me, that is getting a little bit solid down there. Bike 83, that was Sam Mendes just taking it over from teammate McLean, and that was a bit of shoulder barging there.
It was, yeah, on Doc Bush. So he was just a little tight. It's difficult, that first corner on one of these. It's a big bump. You've got to watch that. They want to move a little bit as well. It's all about corner speed. You've got to keep them. You've got to keep them singing. So the interesting thing is going to be, what can Dan Jackson do? He's in second spot, and these guys look like they're going to miss the window. So that is really unfortunate. That's the Vincent Black Lightning of Dominic Herbertson and Dario Tossolini. So they are going to be penalised, unfortunately, because they've got to have got in within that 8 minute, and they haven't.
Oh, that moment in the pit lane, on the pit wall, when you've been trying to indicate for lap after lap, and you're riding maybe just having too much fun, but that will be dropping that way down the order. But right now, it's Michael Russell leading the way. 1.3 seconds clear at the end of the previous lap, and this one, is he going to come in now just for the sake of it through the chicane? Bike number 37, the one that is now in trouble.
And he hasn't gone again.
No, he's just having too much fun.
So he's completely missed it, or I think that's his teammate going, what's going on? What's happening? So yeah, so that's unfortunate. So they're going to be penalised, but he's obviously enjoying himself out there.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness now the lead bunch have got the wrong side of the law. Right, Michael Russell coming through, who's 1.3 seconds clear. He's 2.3 seconds clear now, and starting to maybe pull away a little bit from Dan Jackson.
He was, so he was a second quicker than Dan Jackson that last lap. So Russell, really nice lap in. He's now sort of coming up to the traffic as well, so he knows 6.5 minutes. Oh, he's had a little look down there. So just keep an eye on that. He's looking down. Is there some sort of problem? We'll just keep an eye. Is he looking for oil? There's definitely, that is your leader, remember. So number 68, Michael Russell, just having a little peep down at his motorcycle a couple of times as he just comes through this lovely section, and he's ridden absolutely beautifully along with his teammate, but something is bothering me a little bit there.
Right, what's left on the clock? Just over 6 minutes. He's definitely looking down, but for the moment, still lapping at very, very good pace. The fastest lap in the race so far was done by Josh Brookes in the the Vincent that's now fallen down to fourth place. Ben Kingham's taken it over. 1 minute 31.7, and at the moment the fastest of the riders at the front of the field doing 1 minute 35. But we did have the pros on first and the amateur riders in theory in the second stage of the race.
Yeah, so they did have a problem with the clutch on this motorcycle in qualifying, but we will keep an eye. But it still sounds like it's running pretty sweet. He's still going through the traffic okay. He's got a 2.2 second lead up on Jackson, who's then got a further second back on Mendes in third. So again, he's having another long look down there.
Well, actually, he picked up the pace by a second, but suddenly there's a little bit of traffic. But again, he's gained more time over Dan Jackson. He's 3.5 seconds to good in the race. So Michael Russell, can it be the back-to-front victory, or will there be a mechanical gremlin that steps in? But there he is, bike number 68, Norton Bellicet, absolutely flying at the moment.
Well, as you say, he's pulled another good second, so that's good. And now you can see number 38, that is Jackson, and then behind him, there's a couple of... Mendes is another couple of seconds back on that. So these are a couple of back markers he's come through. This is your leader again, and he just comes up to he's just coming up to lap the Norton Manx there of Sylvain Barrier and Sebastian Perez.
Yeah, not too far further up the track ahead of them is Glenn English, who's making really good progress on the bike. That's bike number 40, which is Max Norton. He shares with Steve Plater. They were overall, they've been right in the mix here before, and we'll see again. You get these slightly even bike pairings that really do count by the end of the race.
And I was just looking at that, and Kingham has really closed up now, and he's just on the is he just closing a little bit on Mendes on that last
it's
lap?
ebbing and flowing. Actually, the previous lap he was catching, and then maybe a bit of traffic, but the clock counts down, just over 4 minutes remain. It is the first part of the Barry Sheene Memorial Trophy. It's been fantastic from start to finish, and as we had the rider changes, the top 6 were covered by about 2 seconds, where they all got out of the track. But Michael Russell was absolutely flying. He's 3.5 seconds clear. Surely he can coast it, and a couple of bikes have been given 5-second penalties for pitting outside the pit window. We saw one still hasn't come in, as far as we can ascertain. But it's bikes 17 and 98, and it's the Tom Child one that just moved. I just mentioned it. They've been moving up the order. They're in 9th place. They're in trouble.
That's a shame, because Child was doing a fantastic job to get that bike in, pushing in the top 5. He'd lapped really well, qualified 6, so it was great for that journalist. Michael, your leader, still looking down, but he's banging in those 34s. No one else is even in the 34s. Jackson is in second. He's doing a high 35, and the rest of the guys are in 37s or slower. So he really is, he's hammering on, but he keeps looking down.
Yeah, but such is his margin now, James. He's 5 seconds clear. He doesn't really need to look behind. Always the bike ride, they've got that great visibility to the rear. They're looking to see who's closing, but now with the twists and turns of the circuit, he cannot see the next rider.
No, that's right. And also, you just knock off 500 revs, just keep it going. You've got another part tomorrow, so all these sort of things. But he's done you've got to say, he's done a lovely job on that bike. So, what do you say? It's a Norton Manx chassis with this Bellicet engine in it, forward out, it's push rod, and what a job he's done. Now, this is obviously Kingham, and he was teammates with Brookes, and Brookes it was that set that fastest lap, so Brookes set that fast lap for 1:31.7, but this is his teammate, and he's in 4th, and it looks like he's probably going to stay there because he's got a bit too much to do to get in back with Mendes. But that beautiful Vincent Black Shadow, that 1954 bike, it's just a lovely, and the sound of it as well, that big 998cc 50-degree V-twin, look at it. And it was just Vincent were renowned for their quality of engineering, their styling, and it's a beautiful thing. It
really is, and in fact he's fairly comfortable in 4th place, because the Bain Brogan, number 12, the Norton International, is it Ian Bain on now? Steve Brogan started the race, I seem to recall, but that is 18 seconds further back in 5th place. But actually just had a change of position, because suddenly what has happened to McLean? Bike 83 started the outside the front row, the Royal Enfield Meteor.
They were 7 seconds in front, but they have disappeared. We haven't seen them come across yet.
A very slow second segment. Should be doing around 40 seconds. It was over a minute. So, there we have proof. Found
He's got to get off the track. He's dropping. He's got to move to the side.
Hand up on the matchless Norton, but there is nothing more can be done.
So that's a different. So that's number 17. So that's the Tongue Child bike.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
But actually, just when it's you know something's wrong, you just got to get to the side of the track, get that off, so you're not dropping anything. Ugh.
Well, the Mendes McLean bike, we were talking about bike 83, we thought that had a problem. Clearly it had, but it's come into the pit. Right, now first to second, it's 6 seconds. We've only got a minute left, so I think surely Michael Russell can relax, but he is being caught. Dan Jackson actually took a second out of him last time around. Yeah,
so here is your leader, and this will be the last lap as he comes across. He's got to earn it. There's 50 seconds as he comes across the line, so he's going to be very happy with that. But it is a change of leaders. So as we look back, there's your second place spot. That is Dan Jackson there doing a great job. So he's 6.7 seconds back. There's your leader coming through again, and as we say, it's then going to be Kingham and Brookes who have inherited this third, because Mendes has had some sort of problem. We haven't seen a crash, so the men in third place. And that's the thing about this race. It is a two-parter. It is an aggregate, so much can happen. You've just got to keep going.
Yeah, the Mendes McLean bike, the Royal Enfield, actually reported back to the pit, so clearly a slow run in with a mechanical problem, but it's not lying on the side of the circuit. But out of St Mary's, up the rise to the first of the Labant right-handers, looking in control. No, looking down as much as he was. Michael Russell actually pulling away. There is no gain from Dan Jackson. The last lap was an advantage to our race leader. He continues. So 27th position on the run across the grid to get on the bike for Michael Rutter, but Michael Russell about to bring it home to win the first part, surely, of the Barry Sheene Memorial Trophy.
It puts him in a very strong position for tomorrow. That's 6.7 seconds, so it's a very strong pairing, Michael Rutter, Michael Russell, and they've done an amazing job. Let's not forget, they started on row 11th in 27th, and they've come all the way through. They didn't hustle. Rutter did a great job in that first part, and then Michael Russell here, he's taken over, and even though he's looked down a few times, he's done it, and he takes the win for the first part of the Barry Sheene Memorial race here.
He had so much fun. Michael Russell will also be out in the Formula 5, the 500 race, and in behind, looking to see what the margin is at the end, and it's 6.7 seconds. That's a nice, comfortable margin to carry in to tomorrow's second part of the race. Looking for the bike that's going to come through in third place. It should be the Vincent Black Shadow bike, number 55. There it is, with Ben King, and bringing that home. So third place, very useful for him.
Yeah, so let's have a look. 26 points, so he's 26.9, 27 seconds basically back on your leader. Now this is the McConnell-Perkin bike, and again, what a ride they've had from row 7 on the grid in 16th position. Billy McConnell did a great job coming through to do it, but on that 1952 Bella set, and then his teammate Perkin taking a really strong fourth place there. Great job from them, and Bain and Brogan just behind them, literally at 1 second in 5th, so they'll be there. That's a shame. That's a shame. That's the Triumph. So we're just seeing there the Triumph T110, the Ace Classics, with Ian Hutchin and Kevin Rushworth, was retired in the last lap. But well done to this pairing. Michael Rutter, Michael Russell. Hats off.